my crafty friends, it's Marla here with another video. Today I'm sharing the new CottageCutz Flowers More Release and Review. I'm going to give you a close-up look at all of the dies that are being released today. There is a 40% discount for a limited time. Usually it's about 10 days, so I thought I would kind of give you a perspective and then we'll create a card. So let's jump right in. I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of cardstock so that you can get an idea of the sizes of some of these dies. This first one is called Leafy Branch 1. I've die cut it out. It is actually the same size as the packaging. Here's how it would appear on an A2 size card. The dimensions for this are 1.8 inches by 2.5 inches. Then we'll move into Leafy Branch number 2. This is a smaller branch with wider leaves. This branch or leafy branch measures 1.4 inches by 2 inches. You can get an idea right here as I place it next to Leafy Branch 1 as to the size. It is the smallest of the 3 leaf branch dies. Leafy Branch number 3 is 1.6 inches by 2.3 inches. So it is mid-size. Again, it does have the wider leaves, but it also has the smaller branches to it. So there's a look at 1, 2, and 3 of the leafy branches. Next, I'm sharing the little flowers. There are 4 flowers, and I've put them together in this collection. They range from 1/2 inch to 1 inch in size, so some are a little bit taller than others. You have a tulip and then kind of a daisy looking one that is layered. The one on the left does have a few layering pieces to give it the fullness. And these are perfect for adding a little garden to your scene. Moving on to the florals, we're going to start with floral number 1 or flower number 1. So flower number 1 is going to measure 2 inches by 3.5 inches. You can see how it fits on that A2 panel. The next flower is flower 2. It measures 1.5 inches by 3 inches wide. So the widest point on that flower is 3 inches. We have a flower without any stems. This one is called flower 3. It is 1.8 inches by 1.8 inches, and the leafy branches would work perfectly with this flower. Moving on, we have flower number 4, and this one is smaller than some of the other flowers. It measures 1.4 inches by 3.5 inches. There's a look at the packaging. And then we'll move on to flower number 5. I'm going to put this one up here on top so you can keep it in perspective. For flower number 5, this one is going to measure 1.9 inches by 3.6 inches, so you can see that the widest point of the flower, the width of it is going to be a little bit wider. There are leaves that you can see in the example that were on the flower itself. I ended up layering mine down where the branch was or where the other leaves were, and I think I would cut a couple more to add it in to give a little bit of fullness. This one has a beautiful curve to it. It's called flower number 6. So for flower number 6, it is going to measure 3.4 inches by 3.7 inches. And you can see the sizing of these flowers, how you could create bouquets with them. They are going to be on the larger side compared to some of the other cottage cut floral dies, which is something that I really appreciated about this release. Flower number 7 measures 3 inches by 2.9 inches, and then we're going to move on to the branches. The first branch is called Branch, and it's 1.3 inches by 2.5, and this second one is Lemon Branch, and it's 1.5 inches by 2.1 inches. It has a little flower on it as well as the lemon. You could cut the lemons out a couple more times and add more to the branches. I didn't color this one up, but this one is the camera, and the camera is going to measure 1.5 inches by 1.2 inches. There's a look prospectively on an A2 size card as to the size of the camera. Next, we have Arch Sun. Now, this can go in 2 different directions, which is what I'm going to show you. The first is as if it were coming up over the horizon. There are 2 pieces to this die. It measures 2.3 inches by 1.2 inches, and I have broken my thumb on my right hand, so I'm a little bit awkward with my crafting and with putting this together, but I did want to share these dies with you because I thought that it was an absolutely beautiful release. Here is the other direction that you could make this sun as if it were coming off the card. Next, we have the Fresh Lemonade Phrases. This is going to cut out the word fresh, lemonade, and stand, and also a half a lemon slice. There are some little accents like splash marks that also cut out. I did not add them. They were small pieces, and if I were making a card, I definitely would use them, but I didn't keep them with the rest of the die cuts. I figured I can just recut those out. And to accompany that, we have a lemonade stand. Now, that lemonade stand is 2.2 inches by 2.7 inches. The Fresh Lemonade stand, the sentiment measures approximately 3.1 inches by 1.9 inches across, and of course you can see that the lemonade is the longest portion. There are layering pieces for the glass and for the pitcher in order to color up the lemonade. I chose to just use this little brush from Amazon. I'll link it in the description box below. I got several of them, like 15 I think, for like $15 or so, and I just used those to add the lemonade to my cup and to the pitcher, and then I took a blue and I added it to the top and the bottom to give the appearance of the glass. So those are the 2 pieces that I'm showing you on the right hand side. For the pitcher and the glass, if you choose to add those for a little bit of layering, I did add the little squares that are ice cubes to the lemonade glass. Here we have Celebrate Banner, which is 3 inches by 2 inches. This can swag across your card. If you chose to cut out a couple of them, you could add them at an angle. As I'm going to show you here, it comes with 3 different sizes of hearts and stars, and then there's larger hearts for the ends. We have 2 different fences. The first one is called Fence with Flower Garland. You can see that that is a larger fence, absolutely beautiful. You can choose to layer the flowers or not. And then we have the Fence and Grass. And this one is quite a bit shorter. I'm going to show you a comparison of the 2 of them together in just a moment, so you can get an idea. This fence with grass measures 2.7 inches by 1.5 inches. And if I didn't mention, the fence with flower is 3.3 by 2.4. This smaller fence is perfectly sized to work with the lemonade stand if you wanted to create a scene with that. I'm going to show that in just a moment. I'll move that fence over to the side, and I'm trying to do this, as I mentioned, with a broken finger, so I'm a little bit awkward and I apologize for that. I'm not supposed to be using that. And then you can add the grass either to the fence line, you can cut it out a couple of times, and it would make a really cute scene like that. So I am going to start building a card quickly. I've cut a piece of card pattern paper to 4¼ by 5½ inches, which is the size of the top folding card base that I am going to adhere it to. I used the CottageCutz pierced rectangles, and I think I used either the largest or second to largest to cut out another piece of pattern paper. This one is blue, so it will give a beautiful sky appearance. And I am going to build my scene on that smaller piece of pattern paper. I do have the arch sun. I'm going to use it in the direction where the sun is coming down from the corner of my scene. I'll add a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to add the centerpiece to that. I did color up this sun using squeezed lemonade, and then I added a little bit of spiced marmalade to give it a little bit of that orange appearance. And then I need to figure out where I am going to put my sentiment. So this is actually going to be a baby shower card. It's going to say, "Welcome baby." I have a stamp from my stash that will help me accomplish that. We'll do a little bit of heat embossing, so I'll take my anti-static tool and I'm going to just run it across the cardstock. I put my fence in place so I know where that's going to be, so I can get the perfect placement for my sentiment. You can't see, but I am inking up my stamp using my Versamark ink. I'll stamp it a couple of times to make sure that I get a really good impression. And then I have Brutus Monroe's Alabaster White embossing powder. I'll add that to the top. I'll remove any of the excess powder, and then I'm going to heat up my heat tool. So you want to make sure that your heat tool is nice and hot before you bring it to this pattern paper. Pattern paper tends to be a little bit thinner than the cardstock, so it's really a must to make sure that that heat tool is really heated up nice and hot before I bring it to the pattern paper. And I'm going to heat it a little bit from behind to begin with, and then I'll finish melting the embossing powder over the front of it. This collection, as I mentioned, is available now in the Stampin' Cottage. I will have a link to the collection in the description box below. I think that this is absolutely beautiful. As I mentioned before, I am a total flower girl, and I was so happy to see that they came out with some of the larger flowers. I will be completing cards using the die cuts that I've already created in some other videos over at the Stampin' Cottage. I will have a link to their channel in the description box. Often we give away dies on the channel, so if you love any of these dies and you've never been over to watch our videos over on the CottageCutz YouTube channel, I would encourage you to head over there, make sure that you subscribe so that you can enter to win each time that we upload a video one of the products that we're using in our cards. This is the grass from the Fence and Grass die. I went ahead and die cut it, the grass portion, 4 different times. I inked it up with Twisted Citron, added foam tape to the bottom layer, and then I'm going to tuck this one very carefully underneath so that I have a little bit of layering. with my grass. And then I'll tuck my fence in, so I'm going to add the glue to each of the slats, and then I'll also add it to the ones that are going horizontal. And again, I'll tuck that in. The flower garland can certainly be used without the fence. That would be really pretty on a card if you just created a swag using those flowers. I am going to be in need of a couple of baby shower cards. I'm so excited. My second grandchild is due to be born in April, and in May, my niece is going to have another baby, and so we are going to have 2 new babies that are coming in April and May. And so I have a shower coming up, and some births coming up, and so baby showers are going to be in high demand. And I really thought that this duck die was really, really cute. I thought that it would make a wonderful baby shower card. The mama and ducklings are from an older release. I did color them up using squeezed lemonade and a little bit of scattered straw for the body, some spiced pumpkin or carved pumpkin, and spiced marmalade for the bills and the feet. And then for the flowers on my swag, I did use milled lavender as well as kitsch flamingo. So that completes my card for today. I hope you enjoyed a peek at the release. If you did, please let me know that you'd like to see more of these videos. Here's a close-up view. Until next time, have a fabulous day.